I don't have those numbers in front of me, Congresswoman.
Did you prepare for this hearing today? Did you do any preparation
I take
for this
Congress
hearing today?
seriously.
And you've seen the numbers about autism fraud in Minnesota. So we're going to do some Minnesota math with you today, okay? Are you ready?
What's wrong, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. We've got some epic justice served as it is being reported that all 39 anti-ICE D-bags that stormed the church have now been arrested. Every single one of them. Hope they don't drop the soap. 39 arrests. Don Lemon absolutely melting down because, well, he thought he was being targeted because, you know, he used to read the news on CNN for a little while until they realized that just about anybody could just read their lies. So why would they be paying $100 million for these people? And I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. But this from the Attorney General this morning. Let's get to the statement here. As of Monday, all 39 individuals indicted in the attack on the city's church in Minnesota have been arrested. Two of them, while abroad, two of them had fled the country. Civil rights look forward to bringing justice to the victims of this incident and demonstrating our strong commitment to justice for all. Two of them had fled the country. I wonder what countries they were in. Here we have this. When sacred spaces are targeted, this Justice Department acts. Our Civil Rights Division has charged a New York man with intentionally damaging religious property. The global headquarters of the Chabad Lubavitch movement, but don't even know what that is. I have no idea. But yes, churches should be protected. You see this. Despite clear objections from the Department of Justice and the gravity of the alleged conduct, two radical judges had intervened and released three of the suspects accused of storming Minnesota church. Religious liberty is under attack. Wait, why did that go? Where'd that go? There it is. This will not stand. This Department of Justice will not stop until there's accountability and faith communities are protected. So remember, these people they were released by woke judges, and then the federal government stepped in and said, no, we're not going to allow that. By the way, things have gotten even worse. Like things have gotten even worse because, I mean, remember, this is what these quote unquote protesters were doing. I mean,
hugging his kid.
Did you ever think you would see anything like this in the United States of America?
Religious liberty is under siege in our country right now, and we are not going anywhere until those people who did those acts are held accountable.
Well, there's Pam Bondi, so of course she's on Fox News. But Minnesota's having a very bad day all around, and this is very interesting. We have Tim Walz getting caught red-handed, admitting he had zero clue that the Minnesota autism spending surged from 1 million to 343 million under his watch, and Somali fraud went rampant. There's some great videos from today. Let's check this one out.
How much money was spent on autism in Minnesota in 2017, Governor?
I don't have those numbers in front of me, Congresswoman.
Did you prepare for this hearing today? Did you do any preparation
I take
for this hearing
Congress
today?
seriously.
And you've seen the numbers about autism fraud in Minnesota. So we're going to do some Minnesota math with you today, okay? Are you ready? How much money was spent on 2017 for autism in Minnesota? How much?
I don't know. I wasn't the governor.
Okay.
What?
Did you not just say that you prepared for this hearing today? $1 million, okay? A quick Google search or using your AI could tell you $1 million was spent. How much money was spent on autism in Minnesota in 2024?
I don't have the number in front of me. As
Were you governor in 2024?
Yes.
I was, but I'm not the head
so
of
your excuse before that you didn't know what 2017 autism numbers were because you were not governor, and today you can't answer the numbers about 2024 as governor, and you still said you prepared for this hearing today. It's unbelievable. $343 million was spent in 2024. What percent increase is that from 1 million to 343 million? What percentage increase is that?
I'm not here to be your prop. Go ahead and tell me.
Are you governor of Minnesota or not?
Yes, I am. I'm
Okay,
not.
well,
I'm
when
not
I'm
a prop
governor of
for a
South
member of
Carolina,
Congress.
you can sure as hell bet that I'm going to know the math. The math
Right.
is 34,200% increase, an increase of
34,000
343 times what it was in this time period. Do you know the number of children in Minnesota?
That's going to get bad.
I know that Minnesota ranked as a top 3 state
Okay,
for children
what
in
is
the
the total
last year.
population in Minnesota?
5.7 million.
Okay. What is the total population of children in Minnesota?
I don't have the number in front of me right
Are
now.
you governor of Minnesota?
I know 400,000 were cut out of health care last
Okay,
week by
that's
the
not-
actions you made.
Are you governor of Minnesota?
I am.
Yeah.
And you don't
okay.
know the number of children
I
residing
don't have
in
the
Minnesota.
specific numbers.
Tim Walz getting absolutely embarrassed. And then that's before Jim Jordan got to him. This is about the Somali fraud.
Governor, who's Casey Magan?
I don't know who Casey Magan is.
Well, I'll tell you. Mr. Magan is a Somali American and a fraud investigator in the guy beside you's office, in the Attorney General's office. And here's what he said. There was a perception that forcefully tackling this issue might cause political backlash among the Somali community, which is a core voting bloc. Did that have anything to do with this whole fraud scheme that went on in your state, Governor?
It did not, Congressman.
Did not. So you're saying Mr. Casey Magan is lying too?
I'm not.
You're the only one telling the truth in the whole state. Mr. Magan, who's a fraud investigator at the Attorney General's office, says it's politics. The court said
I couldn't speak
you
for
were
Mr.
stating-
Magan. You asked me a question,
I know.
Uh-huh.
I'm
and
asking.
I said no when you asked me the question.
I'm saying Casey Magan said just the opposite.
don't know.
So the
You-
court's wrong and Casey Magan's wrong. You're the only guy right. How many people have been indicted in your state right now? Do you know, Governor?
I don't have those numbers with me.
You don't? 98 people have been indicted. You happen to know how many are Somali American?
Uh-oh.
I don't. We don't investigate or prosecute people based on ethnicity, religion.
Neither do I. We shouldn't do that. But Mr. Magan is a Somali American who just said that the court, one of the concerns was this is a core voting bloc. And I just want to know if you know how many of the 98 people who have been indicted in your state are Somali.
I don't. Their
I'm gonna say
ethnicity is not my
85.
concern.
85% of the people indicted were
Okay.
Somali American, key voting bloc. And I think that.
So the connection there is obviously that they didn't prosecute this stuff because they knew it was good for them, And by the way, I missed Don Lemon's statement. I have to go back to the Lemon head here. Don Lemon was taken into custody, babe. This is a statement from Abe Lowell, the attorney for Don Lemon. Don Lemon was taken into custody by federal agents last night in Los Angeles, where he was covering the Grammy Awards. This is when he got arrested. Don has been a journalist for 30 years. I just want to remind everybody of the journalisming that he was doing here, okay? Instead of investigating federal agents who took the lives of 2 peaceful protesters, what? They can do 2 things at once, by the way. They're devoting time, attention, and resources to this arrest. And this is the real indictment of wrongdoing in this case. This unprecedented attack on the First Amendment and transparent attempt to distract attention from the many crises facing the administration will not stand. The reason I bring that up is because it wasn't just Don Lemon who got arrested. It was every single one of the people that entered that building to be a part of that protest. The arrests were not about freedom of speech. The arrests were about protecting religious gathering places, sacred ground that are protected.
This is the beginning of what's going to happen here. When you violate people's due process, when you pull people off the street, you start dragging them and hurting them and not abiding by the Constitution, when you start doing all of that, people get upset and angry. And if you remember what the Civil Rights Movement was about, the Civil Rights Movement was about these very kinds of protests. And for some reason, in our modern era, people...
He says that the Civil Rights Movement is about storming churches. Every single one of these dorks has now been arrested. Everyone you're seeing in this video has been arrested. Like, incredible.
People think that in order to have protests, you got to be, cordoned off to a certain area.
Yes, you do. It's called, your right to peacefully assemble. You don't get to storm churches. You don't get to storm buildings. I wonder if 1,000 people showed up at Don Lemon's house. How would he feel about that? How about just 37 of them? let themselves in, started protesting. Do you think Don Lemon would call the police? I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the Lemonhead would call the police. He doesn't get to hide behind, and the media saying like, Trump administration charges 30 more people for Minnesota protest. The expanded indictment targets protesters who rallied at City's church in St. Paul against Trump's immigration surge. This is the way. Every single one of them, all 39 arrested. Some of the comments like, why isn't Tim Walz and Ilhan Omar? Whatever happened to the person that sprayed apple cider vinegar on Ilhan Omar, by the way? Did we ever know? 39 people raided a church and thought there'd be no consequences. Every single one of them got tracked down and arrested. The message sends is that federal resources will follow through regardless of how much time passes and regardless of how political the situation is. This is great accountability. Now, I don't know what kind of sentences will there be. Are they all just going to get a ticket? I'm not sure what the sentences are here. I think there is some jail time possible, but will they get jail time? I mean, I would certainly hope so, but how many of them were first-time offenders? How many of them were like Don Lemon and the hippie farmer who knew better and who were there profiting off of it? But I will say I'm very, very, very happy they didn't let this slide. I was really thinking that they would, and I'm glad to see they didn't. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.